all of it will not be able to get started until I have my favorite segment, the calling card, the main enchilada, the big daddy of them all. Not the granddaddy. Got to put respect to the Rose Bowl, like I always say, but the big daddy of them all. It's time for real talk. And this time, I got Mace Riney joining me. Now, Mace, do you want to go first, or do you want me to kick it off?
I'll let you kick it off. It's your show. You're the grandmaster of it, man. You can handle it.
As we
Show me how
always
it's done.
say, as we always say, hey, Moon, say it with your chest. This player that I'm about to talk about is no slouch. He might not be the most athletic in the world, but he definitely is somebody that can get busy at what he does. I just need you to know that first off. This player in 2021 had accumulated 103 receptions, 1,038 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And guess what's even better? He had a 21.7% target share. You serious, Moon? Yeah, I'm positive. I mean, totally serious. And this, in our estimations, was a breakout season for him because he totally outperformed his ADP. It's not even close. In fact, you can make the argument that he was a top 10 to 12 receiver last year. Some people could say that. For reference, though, the season before, he had 56 receptions, 656 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. So this was a huge jump up in his stats for the 2020 season heading into 2021. Now, this guy's a hard-working team first players. He happens to play for a team that just moved locations, and they are now took their talents from Oakland all the way out to Vegas. And he has a quarterback who's been developing some trust with him over the last couple of years, couple of seasons. What Hunter Renfrow doesn't do athletically, he does through route running. And he's the topic and focus of my real talk today. The Raiders. That's what we'll put the spotlight on, the drone shot view. So let's zoom in and take a look because the evidence of Hunter Renfrow being what he is leading the Raiders last year in all major receiving categories. That's something that needs to be said because if you look at it from an outside looking in, it was Darren Waller. It's Darren Waller. No, it's Hunter Renfrow. He's sure-handed as it gets. Targeted 128 times. Hunter Renfrow doesn't get the targets. He's not consistent. 128 targets. I'll say it again. He had an 80.5% catch rate. Sure-handed as he can get. And he's blossoming right in front of his eyes. Why? Because he wants the bag. And the Raiders know that he needs the bag. But did you know that almost half, 51 to be exact, of Hunter Renfrow's 103 catches this year, last year, or whatever season you want to say, because some people still don't think that the season ends or starts until we get to like September.
Right.
I know there's some people out
It
there.
never ends, man.
It never ends. There's no off season in fantasy, as they would say.
No.
But out of 51 out of his 103 catches went for first downs. Talk about being a reliable target. Consistently creating separation. That's something that he does best. Derek Carr loves to have a dependable target. Now, he's a former 5th-round pick, and I get it. I understand. I'm look dead into the camera. I get it, ladies and gentlemen. He's a 5th-rounder. Can't take 5th-rounders seriously. Well, the GOAT in your eyes, Tom Brady, it was what round? Okay, take him seriously. Now, this guy, massive payday is expected. I'm talking about massive. And and I know, I hear you. I hear you talking. Well, they don't value him like that in the Raiders organization. Okay. Well, here's a quote from GM Dave Ziegler talking about Hunter Renfrow. He said, and I quote, a talented, very talented player. I've been asked about him in the past, and he's just a gritty guy. Knows how to get open, knows how to win on third down, has some return experience. Talk about versatility, coach? Yeah, talking about versatility. He's good after the catch. He also said, so yes, Hunter is a good football player and has a lot of good elements that allow him to be successful on Sundays, which is important. And he's young. So in their eyes, they see Hunter Renfrow as young. But in our eyes, somehow, he's a 4-year Clemson. Okay, I get it. But who's handing out the checks, though? That's what I just need to know. Now, there's another people out there. There's a certain section of the audience. It's like, well, none of that matters, Moon, because guess what? What shall you say, ladies and gents? Well, there's a guy that's now there by the name of Devontae Adams that's going to be taking away all of his target. Good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. He arrived who took less money. By the way, he took less money to come play with Derek Carr than to go back and play with Aaron Rodgers. That has to be noted. This can't bode well for Hunter Renfrow, right? Well, I would say that, of course, there's new talent acquisition. Of course, it's going to eat into his targets. Will he complain about it? No. Will he make the most of his opportunities, though? For sure. Got to make sure that happens. He'll put his head down and he'll get to work. But could this be a blessing in disguise for Hunter Renfrow? I say yes. Here's my reasoning. Real talk, presented by Rumors Productions. Being a precision route runner who knows how to get open means that anybody can get cooked up no matter who the matchup is. You add Devontae Adams, taking the attention of the defense only opens up more for Hunter Renfrow. And when you factor in the piece that I haven't even mentioned yet, Josh McDaniels being the new head coach, makes me want to shed some thug tears already. And I even get into the good part yet. The good part is this, and this is the good part. I know Devontae is a dog. I get it. But Hunter Renfrow last year had a snap percentage in 2021 of 66%. Some can argue that that might not increase this year. Some can argue that, if you just look deeper than the surface, his fantasy value looks like it's being tied towards volume, Moon. It's volume centric, Moon. But what if I told you that Josh McDaniels was the missing ingredient to be able to take Hunter Renfrow's production and take it through the roof? The reason why? Because with the Patriots, Josh McDaniels chose to attack all of the spaces on the field in the passing game. There's nothing that was untouched, but he did it in multiple ways, often zigging while everybody else is zagging. And the Patriots utilized the middle of the field with short passes to slot receivers more than really any other team that you could think of. And if you need examples, let me just go down the list. Wes Welker. Who does he remind you of? Hunter Renfrow. Julian Edelman. Who does he remind you of? Hunter Renfrow. Jacoby Myers. Who does he remind you of? Jacoby Myers. But, they might use him as like Hunter Renfrow. Gronk is not in comparison to Hunter Renfrow at all. It's not even the same body type, archetype, whatever. However,
Yeah.
Gronk was utilizing the slot, just like who will be? Hunter Renfrow. Did you know that Hunter Henry and Jacoby Myers last year for the Patriots were the most targeted players in the Pats offense? A run heavy offense, by the way. The most targeted players. Who can fit in that role in Sin City? The guy, Hunter Renfrow. And let me throw this in as well. Darren Waller. Talked about him a little bit earlier, but this is a Hunter Renfrow piece right here. Where Hunter Renfrow could get busy the most, and the reason why he's the focus of my real talk today, is because of the utilization of choice and option routes. This is something that does not get talked about. This is something that won't get talked about if you're just paying attention to all the analytics and looking at his performance and his athletic traits and things of that nature. And the reason why is the option route is simply giving the receiver the freedom to be able to read the defenses, use leverage, use alignment, use a coverage to their ability, and be able to create separation even better than what he already does. But you need a certain level of what trust in order to do that. You got to know that this player is going to be able to get open when I know that he's going to get open. Who does Derek Carr have the most trust with on the Raiders wide receiver core that just traded Brian Edwards to my Atlanta Falcons, which opens up targets? Who does Derek Carr love the most? Some people will argue it's Darren Waller. And based on that last match, last time we saw the Raiders against Cincinnati, Darren Waller showed us why he's Darren Waller. All along, he showed us. But he loves him some Hunter Renfrow. Don't get it twisted. Now, let's talk about Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels has given the NFL 8 top 10 offenses. And 3 times his offense is finished as number 1 overall in the entire NFL. That's on 3 different occasions, ladies and gentlemen. Three different. I see this Josh McDaniels offense being super explosive, but also very multiple that are going to exploit mismatches on a week to week basis. You won't be able to predict what they're going to do. Why? Because they will literally be focusing and honing in on you. It's like it's like the art of war. Like literally, attack when your enemy least expected and where they are the weakest at. A staple of the Bill Belichick regime and the coaching
Yeah.
tree. But something that doesn't get said is the X's and O's parts. Josh McDaniels is probably going to implement a running game that's going to be more gap heavy, a gap heavy scheme where he's going to get blockers down the field. And in the passing game, they're going to operate out of five wide or empty more than most teams. Side note, Josh Jacobs could really thrive in Las Vegas this year. And if you're out on him, I can get it. I get it. But like, just give my man a chance. Just a side note. What do I envision in this real talk? I envision Hunter Renfrow still being an intricate part of this offense despite Devontae Adams' arrival. I expect, even with the now trade of Brian Edwards, that the targets are not just going to get taken away. And it's not going to just get taken away. I envision a wide receiver that can go play in the slot that's going to be matching up against safeties, against linebackers, nickels, and be able to run choice routes. And he already is a good route runner, a phenomenal. What does that look like to you? You know what it looks like to me? That looks like real talk presented by Real Ones Productions. Hunter Renfro, I'm not going to fade you like the rest of the public and the consensus is just because I have to have reason in order to do that. And right now, I just don't see any reason. That's real talk. Let's get it. Mace, tell me how you feel about my real talk. Lay it on me.
Dude, that's gonna be a hard act to follow. You really brought that shit, dude. That was really good. That was thought out. That was methodical. That was nuts, bro. You were just going, dude. Yeah.
Gotta lay it on them.
Some
Whenever they're
some
trying
well
to come
deserved
up,
water. Yeah. No, that was nuts. That was dummy, dude. You hit
whenever they
skiing
decide,
coaches.
whenever they
Oh,
decide that they want to take me seriously,